Welcome to Dare to Lead, a Halian podcast, the show that empowers you to navigate leadership, career and business in today's dynamic landscape. I'm your host, Stuart Fry, Chief Executive Officer at Halian. On today's episode, we're joined by Milad Rouhana, a dynamic business leader with a rich cross-functional background in finance, sales, trade marketing and general management. As Managing Director at Perfetti Van Melle for Middle East, Africa and Pakistan, he's led a remarkable business transformation, driving growth and expanding global retail and e-commerce. Now let's get into today's episode. Hi Milad. Firstly, thank you for joining us here on our Halian podcast. Before we dive into your career, can you tell us a bit about yourself personally?
Hello, how are you? And thank you very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Milad Rouhana. I'm the Managing Director of Perfetti Van Melle, managing Middle East and Africa. I'm Lebanese I have 3 boys and my wife Lena. We all live in Dubai for the last 8 years, enjoying this country a lot. And thank you for the invitation.
Great. 3 boys. I'm sure that's good fun. I have 3 girls and 1 boy all growing up here. So definitely an interesting place to bring up children.
Yeah.
What were you like when you were growing up? What were you like at school?
I grew up in Lebanon, and in a country where it's volatile, lots of it's always having war and having political tensions. So I was always a curious person, want to learn more. Learning was something top on my agenda. And I was hungry for knowledge. So this is how I grew up in Lebanon. At the same time, I was always very clear, determined. I know what I want, and I have ambitions in everything I do. I always worked hard from the early days in my life, from my childhood. I grew up in a family where I have 1 brother, and a family where we are a business family. So it's an entrepreneurial family. We wake up in the morning, on breakfast, on lunch, on dinner, whatever we do, we discuss business. So, and I hear mother, father talking business, grandfather interfering, talking business. So I grew up in this type of family.
Great. Did you have a role model growing up?
Yeah. My grandfather is my role model. And he passed away a very long time ago, so I lived with him very few years. But he's my role model for a few reasons. Imagine a person passing through World War I, World War II, where people were trying to survive, and he was able to survive, and not only survive. This guy was able to think and build businesses. He had 7 kids. He was able to give every kid many businesses. So going out of war, he had the mindset of, I can do it. I'll find ways. I'll overcome obstacles. So I love what I saw from my grandfather, and he was able to inherit his kids a lot of businesses and the mindset of can-do attitude, and nothing should stop us in a very, very difficult part of the world. I remember a lot from him. For example, he taught me that wherever you are in the world, you need to have 1 house you stay in. And in his way, very old guy, what he means that you need to have network, and network will help you build your career. And you have to have people every city in the world. So wherever you go, and when you have a house that you can stay in, this means you have a good network, a good bond with the person. Yeah, so he left a lot in my heart, and lots of learning came from him.
Yeah. Being from an entrepreneurial family, how did that help shape your career?
Being an entrepreneurial, there's a lot that comes on the table. From risk-taking, it's part of being an entrepreneur. Then into taking some bold calls. And the bold calls, usually, as an employee, we tend to be away and, no, let's play it safe. Where entrepreneur is the opposite. On the other hand, an entrepreneur, there are lots of risks. And if you don't take risk, you don't improve. This helped me a lot in my business, and while now managing the business. From the day I started as a very junior person in my career, and overcoming obstacles. So every challenge, when you are an entrepreneur, you need to consider it as an opportunity to grow, rather than an obstacle and standing in front of it and stopping. So we overcome obstacles, as well as vision. was when being an entrepreneur in a family that is an entrepreneur. So you need to think about where do you want to be, and sky is the limit. That doesn't mean when you're an entrepreneur, I want to grow 5-10%. No, I want this company to fly. I want it to become the biggest company. So it was embedded in my character when I grew up. At the same time, I had to talk about the challenges, because being an entrepreneur, sometimes the risk is big. And during war, we lost almost everything. My family lost everything. So when I started my life, when I went to university, I had to work to pay my university. And this is the life of an entrepreneur. They lost from having a lot into a place where I have to work to pay my university. Also, this taught me that we fall, but we stand up and we do it again.
Yeah. Was there a pivotal moment in your childhood where you thought, this is the career trajectory I want to go down? Because you're surrounded by entrepreneurs, you're surrounded by business opportunities. Almost, excuse the pun, you're like a kid in a sweet shop, and then you can you look at that and say, great, this is the route that I want to go down.
I was like a kid in a sweet shop, but then without sweets. So when I wanted to start my career, we lost everything. Yeah. And even when I went to university, we lost everything. I had to start from scratch. And here comes the point where I had to think, where should I start? And for me, yes, it will be business, because I'm from a business family. I applied and I tried to work a few jobs during university. I worked as accountant because I love numbers, finance. Then I tried different types of jobs, and at the end, working in a supermarket, I felt, oh my God, this is where my heart is. I went and I applied for one company in Lebanon, and they are the biggest distributor. And I thought, either I make it, or I will keep on trying until I make it. So there is no option. And I applied on my own. I didn't talk to anyone. I didn't use any network. And after a week, I received a call from it. The company is called Fattal. They used to be the biggest in Lebanon distribution. And they told me, come for an interview. For me, I couldn't believe, because usually entering such company was really hard. And you need someone to put you in. It's not a matter of putting your CV. So I passed the interview after the other, and the pivot moment in my life was when they told me, you're accepted, you have to join. I still, when I talk about it now, I feel something in my heart. Wow, I made it. I'm entering a dream job. Yeah, it's not the entrepreneur life, but it's a company that everybody dreams to be in. And for me, being with FMCG, going to the supermarket, seeing our products made a lot of sense for me. So this was a pivot moment in my life, and it taught me that try on your own. Don't stop. Nothing should stop me. I made it. I entered, but I entered on a very low level, and it was okay for me because I knew I will pave my way up.
Great. If you could be anywhere, your favorite place, your favorite restaurant, and your favorite band to hear, where would it be?
Favorite place, I love to walk at Kite Beach.
Okay.
It's a place I love early morning or very late, not very late, late night. I love walking there. It's very well prepared. When you look at the sea, it's a place where I take lots of insights. It comes into my brain, lots of dreams come over when I'm walking. The fresh air there, and looking at the sea, always you see that it's a blue ocean, really, and a lot could be done, and lots of ideas come to my mind. And as I told you, I love Dubai. Dubai is for me home. This is the place I love. This is the place I want to be. A band I like and I would love to be with is Scorpions.
Oh, wow.
I'm the old generation.
Yeah.
But I love Scorpions. It's their music never die.
Fantastic. So, yeah, good choice. Good choice. And your favorite restaurants?
In Dubai, you have many. Like, depends what I want. If I want something casual to fine dining, I like Roberto's.
Yeah.
A bit more fine dining, I like Gaia. If I want sushi, Zuma, depends. But the DIFC for me is the place that never goes wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you've got so many amazing choices there. So let's get into a little bit about your career. So can you talk me through your career journey? So you've obviously talked about going through these interviews, getting the first job there. How did that kind of move on for you?
So I started with the Fatal at the lower of the ladder, the bottom of the ladder in the corporate, and it was a shock first for the family that everyone tries to go into an entrepreneur or open their business, even when we were broke almost. But I wanted to start down because I wanted to learn the hard way, and this is what I've done. And from the entry, something that's interesting to share, the guy that I was taking over from the job was a master's graduate. He was in the job for 7-8 years, and he told me, bad luck for you. My God, I'm entering a job, my dream job, you're telling me bad luck? I said, why? He said, look, it's been 8 years, I have masters, and I'm being at the bottom of the ladder. I'm not being able to grow. This gave me a challenge. That yes, I will start the bottom of the ladder, but from day one, I started to think, how can I be different? How can I show the company that I can do a lot more than the previous guy? And in fact, I did that. So I worked very hard. And I was, when you are at the bottom, you deliver on your own. You don't have a team to deliver. Yep. So it's obstacles, challenges, managing the market, and you're at the forefront. So it was challenging start, but for me, always looking at how can I do better? How can I learn and improve in what I'm doing? And I started to improve one thing after the other until not only delivery. And this is something that I always see with the team. They consider that when you deliver a number, this is that you did your job. But no, it's much more. If we want to grow, and what I did during my career, when I want to grow is not only delivering number. Delivering is given. This is basic. On top of that, how can I add value? And value that will create legacy on the long term. And the company will see that he added value, he improved the business. So I started to do that until I got promoted. And the first time was getting into a job that no one wanted to take in the company. It was a cash van operation, right, where it was losing money for ages. And they told me, God bless his soul, he'd passed away during COVID. He was the MD that time. He said, look, you're ambitious. You always come and tell me I want to grow. You try to do things on top of what you want. I have this division. Can you manage it? Would you take it? But if you don't do well, you'll be fired. And if you do well, you'll be the star in the company. I took the challenge. And I said, it's a wonderful thing to do. Let's take this challenge. It was very interesting. First, to learn how to deliver through people. I was delivering on my own, and then I learned how to improve my leadership skills, and it was a journey that I was building day by day. How can I inspire the people in front of me to believe in what I want to do, not only telling them what to do? And once they believe, how can I get the best out of every person? Because there are calibers, not everyone is the same. And I started to learn how to stretch each person to his maximum, to reach their limits. And people can grow, because part of my job is I want to grow, but I want them to grow as well. This was the starting of my career, and a lot of learning during that period, determination, hardworking, and always the hard work was with me. It's something I always remember, and I still work hard because nothing comes easily.
Yeah. Do you have a kind of particular leadership style? So you talk then about working with people to get the absolute best out of them. How do you do that? How's your kind of leadership style with those people?
I am a visionary person, so I don't like statu quo. Okay. And my type of leadership is when I start, I put a vision, and very ambitious vision, and then I take people around me. I make sure they are aligned on the vision. Sometimes they believe, oh my God, what is this? This is so stretched of a vision. But when we start the vision, then I give them the right support and the guidance, starting from coaching them into giving them step by step until they manage on their own. And here comes the role of coming from an entrepreneurial family. I believe in entrepreneurial spirit. And this is what we are great at in Perfetti. It's a pure entrepreneurial spirit company. It's not being extremely structured to the dot. it's being entrepreneur. And when we say entrepreneur, is ownership, accountability. So we need to know everything, and we need to be able to deliver on everything we want to do, plus stretch ourselves and come with new ideas. So innovation, type of my leadership. I like innovation. I like creativity, and learning is big part on my agenda. So AI came. I would love myself first to learn it, and this is what I'm doing. And the team should be aware of AI. The vision, determination, hard work, and I lead by example. I don't believe in sitting in the AC and the guys in the forefront working on their own. You see me being with the front guys, showing them that I'm there with them. When they need me, I'm there. Yeah. And then I come, sit in my office, do the strategic, visionary stuff. Then I go down. So I zoom in, zoom out. This is the type of leader I am.
Do you think because you've worked in so many different functions within the business, as you've worked your way through your career, do you think that makes you more empathetic towards the team and the people working around you, because you can actually understand their challenges because you've lived through some of those challenges yourself?
100%. And it didn't happen by chance. It was planned, because I planned my career and I worked hard on going step by step into my career. You know, when you are growing in a career and doing well, sometimes you have the chance to go vertically or horizontally. I believe in the pyramid model, where I worked on building different functions, expertise, because I knew I want to be leading a business. And to be leading a business, I wanted to be strong across all functions. I didn't want to be very strong in one area and the rest weak. So yes, to your point, I'm empathized with my team a lot. And this is why when I said I jump into supporting people and move back just by empathy, because I feel with them and I know what is required to be done. On the other hand, knowing different functions helps a lot in challenging the ideas that people are coming with, rather than accepting. If I'm not aware of what they're talking about, I will accept everything, because trust is there. But I keep the trust and I challenge. And when you challenge, the person that is expert handling the function can give a lot more. So yes, it helps a lot knowing different functions.
Yeah. Do you find your leadership style has to change quite diversely, because you cover teams across Levant, Middle East, Africa, Pakistan? You've got lots of different people there, lots of different nationalities. Do you have to change your leadership style with those different teams that you're working with?
Now, not a lot. I change styles, depends on the person. Yeah, there are a few changes that you have to be agile nowadays. But I will give you a funny story. It took place the first time I had to leave Lebanon, because I started in Lebanon. And the first time, the same company wanted to send me into a role in Jordan. So I moved to Jordan. It's so close, Levant. You know, Levant, almost same mindset, same spirit, but there are differences in the words that we say. So I was in a meeting and I said the word that in Lebanon is normal to say it. When I said it, it was silence. No one talks. And all of a sudden, some person came and told me, be careful. This is big thing to say in Jordan. So I realized it was really big and it should not be said. So I learned my lesson that dealing with different cultures, there's a lot to be cautious of. Be it the language, the ethical part of behaving, there are the different behaviors, plus the way you drive people and inspire them, it's totally different from one country to the other. So imagine from a region to the other. Being in Saudi, which is a country very close to my heart as well, I go very frequently there. The way you get things done in Saudi is not the same way in Dubai or in Kenya or in South Africa. It's totally different. And yeah, I had to cope. And every day I learn more and more how to do better and get more done through the team and help the team develop themselves in each of the regions.
With your leaders that you work with, how do you focus on developing them?
I have a say. I have few says. One of them is that I believe in baptizing by fire. But let me clarify it a bit, because it can be misunderstood. So for me, I believe on the job training. And on the job, the best development is when I stretch the person in front of me to get the best out of them, because we have great people, but how can I get the best? I don't want them just to love, I love Milad because he's nice to me. I don't care about this. I care about my team. I challenge them to the maximum because I want them after 3, 4, 5 years to come and say, oh my God, this guy challenged me, but look how much I learned. So for me, it's very important to get the best out of every person by letting them know themselves. And to know themselves, they will not know it when I am so nice to them and letting them enjoy life. They will know it when they are under challenge. And this is how our brain works, to come with ideas and know that, no, we can do it.
Yeah, I remember very early in my career, I went to see a client in Scotland, and while I'm sitting there in the reception area, a young 19-year-old kid, I heard a saying which I've kind of lived by, and it's very similar to that. So there were two people talking there. One was talking about the other person's workload, saying, I don't know how you cope, and she said, it's okay, I swim better in the deep end. And that's the same as baptism of fire. It's giving people those opportunities to say there are no safety nets sometimes, and you need to go and do your best. And if you fail, that's okay. But at the same time, you get the opportunity to go and be your own person and deliver things in your own way.
I like what you said, because the first part is the baptizing by fire, but to be able to put the people and swimming in the deep, I give them the right tools, the right support. As well, I'm an open-minded person, and I ask the team, please, think about something, do mistakes. It's not wrong. If you do a mistake, as long as it's calculated, why not? Try it. If it worked, it's better for us. If it does not work and the calculated risk, why not? So also they feel comfortable to try new things, and this helps them develop as well. And then going also into the training and the development, we give training. There are very few courses that I believe in, because the rest you feel that it's nice to go network, which we do, and I support that it should happen, but it's not what everyone considers, that the training is the development of the person. So it's on the job, then coaching. And the coaching part of the development I do, I have now in my team, I call them brothers, and they are my boys and girls. So some of them, I have to call them early morning before I start my day. And sometimes I call them in the night just to feel that we are close and open and talk like brotherhood. And this was part of their development. Today, I'm very proud to see where they are and who they are. Some of them left us, but I feel very proud that they were developed, and now they became even better than me, and I'm so proud of them.
Yeah. What you want is what you can. That's one of your philosophies. How do you put that into practice in your everyday career?
It is the way I live. It's not a statement. It's a mindset. And it's a mindset that I live with. And I teach my kids at home, everywhere I go, because we live in the VUCA. Being in such volatile region, if you wait for the excuses, we will give excuses till there's no end. But what we want is what we can. Makes it simple, that the only limitation we have is our brain, because the opportunities are there. The challenges are every day with us. And I say that having a region with 62 countries, there's not a single night I don't sleep and I wake up saying, oh, good, it's a good night. I wake up, I have a slap in the morning. Every day, 62 countries with all volatility, all challenges you want to name. But because I believe in this mindset, and now my team too as well, so we know that the challenge is an opportunity, and this opportunity will help us grow further, because many people in front of us will find the opportunity as an excuse and they will stop. And this is where we want to grab the opportunity to make it bigger and grow.
Yeah. At Perfetti, you're known for exponential growth. Do you have a playbook that you put in place in each of the teams?
For sure. The starting point was the vision.
Yeah.
And this was the first thing we did. And putting the vision was not easy. And it was very, very challenging vision, very ambitious. So, but at the same time, I got the buy-in, but not the full buy-in, 95%. So having the vision, then getting the right people in place, then giving them the right support and the right tools to be able to deliver. and then moving it into step by step. So after the vision, you have the strategic plan, but the strategic plan in this region keeps on changing. It's agility. So also you have functions that for them, when you put the strategy, you need to follow it like a train. Also convincing the team that, guys, in this function, very good, we have the strategy, but we need to be agile to change and adapt with what is happening in the region. It took some time. So those were the blueprints that I had to put. Vision, the way of working, standardizing, but being super agile in all what we do, and making them believe in the mindset of what you want is what you can. Played a big role in us growing. And we did extremely well, and we're still doing well.
Great. You've got extensive experience in consumer goods. How do you see the trends across Middle East and Africa, especially UAE and Saudi Arabia?
What I'm seeing here, that it's an evolution. We didn't reach the revolution we have in Europe with the private label, because if we go into the shopper decision tree as Mediterranean people, we believe in brands. So brands still play a big role. We didn't reach this point where, like in Europe, for example, you see the private label everywhere. Here, no, the brands are very important. And the FMCG is core. It will remain there. It will evolve, and the evolution I'm seeing is the shift between early days. During my early days career, it was traditional trade market. Then I lived the change in Saudi from traditional into modern, and how it evolved 1% at a time. UAE is more of a modern trade market. Now we're seeing the evolution into e-commerce. That's a new trend coming in, and it's growing by the day. And because there are more players in the market, this is the best part of it. So each one of them has to do better. And as a consumer, we're being bombarded by communication on e-commerce, so it will grow further. Now, how we will use and optimize the business with the e-commerce, it's very important to understand the new way of doing business. One is the AI. AI will play a big role, be it in the marketing, and I believe big part of the marketing will become through AI. Supply chain, and in our market is big challenge with the supply chain, and with the shipment, with the forecast accuracy that we have. So S&OP plays a role, and then AI as well will play a role in the supply chain. Going into the other part, lately in Perfetti, what I'm embedding is always analysis is important, but now we're going to the next level of analysis, understanding where to invest. Otherwise, the evolution is happening into e-commerce as well as on an account level. If we don't evolve with it in terms of knowing where to invest and how to invest, we will not be able to continue. So very interesting curve, and let's see what's coming. I assume it's only positive, and it will be better. Population is growing, young population, be it in Saudi, UAE, or UAE is attracting a lot of new population. Saudi, very young population, dynamic. Going into Africa, we talk about the future of the population is there, very young. But how to unlock, it's different than the GCC.
Yeah. Can you share with us a challenging career decision you've made in the past and how you had to navigate through it?
Yeah, I have a very interesting one. I was working with distributor, as I said earlier, and working with distributor, it's like a family. Everyone knows you, from the owner, managing director, everyone in the company, we know each other. Although it was a very big and respectful company, I learned a lot from Fattal. I can never forget. This was the school I learned from. But being in a distributor, it's always tempting to see the other side of the table. Because as a distributor, we are an operation. We operate, we execute. So we always want to see the principal. In Lebanon, we used to call them voyageurs, because these guys, they travel a lot. So we call them voyageurs in French. So they come to us and they tell us what to do. So they have the plans, and they tell us how we need to execute and what needs to be done. So over time, after 7-8 years with distributor, I took several positions. I felt it's time for me to go on the other side of the table. But here the opportunity came, and the toughest decision that I had to take in my career, staying home with your family, and then all of a sudden you need to move from your home countries into Saudi Arabia, the biggest country in the Middle East. And we always hear that it's very big, very difficult, and big potential. And if you succeed in Saudi, you succeed in the Middle East, which is so true. It's a very important market. So to take such decision from a business that, when we consider Fattal was very big in Lebanon, but look at the size of Fattal in Lebanon versus the Unilever, where the offer I had in Saudi, they're much smaller. Unilever is huge, billions of, our turnover was in billions. So the call was very tough. How can I move from a comfort zone into a new area where I have to go and be in the principal shoes? At the same time, it was a family call, not only me, because I was newly married and I had to take my wife, Lena, from Lebanon, Jordan. It was part-time, then going into Saudi, a place where that time, long time ago, women cannot work, cannot drive. It was quite hard. So I had to sit and discuss with her, and I'm so glad that she accepted, and she said, I'm here to support you, and I'm so grateful for her support. Because if she didn't join me, I could have never took this decision. This is from a family side, and she was supporting me all the way when I moved to Saudi. And then taking the call from a business point of view, I did the pros and cons. Does it make sense? Where are the pros? What are the cons? And there are lots of risks. So I had to take the risk and accept. And I need to take a bold call to move into Saudi, which I did. And this was a very tough call for me to do, because I had to ask lots of advisory. I had to ask people I know living in Saudi earlier. I had to ask people in Unilever, moving into one of the biggest principal in the world in terms of multinational. It wasn't easy. But now when I look back, I say I'm so grateful that first my wife accepted and supported me. Second, because I took this decision that was very risky for me, moving from a place I call home into a big multinational where you are at the beginning a number. When I looked into the ladder, where am I? I will never see the CEO, because I started also not very senior. But it was one of the best decisions I took. So risk and bold call, and I'm so thankful for that move.
Yeah. Was there a point that you thought, I've made the wrong decision, and you thought, I need to reevaluate?
This is something I'm very clear in my life. I take my time to take a decision, but once I decide, I never look back, never. So because I consider, when I took the decision, it was the best option I have that time. And this is why I will look in front of me and see how can I do better. I will never accept to look, I wish I didn't take this call, it wasn't good. No, because maybe after I take the call, after 2-3 years, if I look back, it's different. But everything changed. During that time, it was the perfect answer and the perfect decision I took. But I take my time. I take risk and I take bold calls, but I take my time. I ask a lot, I study a lot my decision, but once done, it's over.
Yeah. The business landscape's evolving all the time, especially in consumer goods. How do you stay ahead of market trends, and what advice would you give to the listeners on the aspiring leaders and how they can stay ahead of market trends?
The basic for us is the hard work and the smart work. And there are people that we see them, sometimes they work the more smart way, but they don't work hard to build the core properly, and they fall. So I highly, highly recommend hard work, smart work as base. Then learning. We need to be ahead of the curve in terms of learnings. Yeah, in FMCG, people say, many people that are not in the industry, they tell me, but it's FMCG. When I was in PepsiCo, you sell Pepsi. Everyone wants Pepsi. Yes, everyone wants Pepsi or wants Lay's. But at the end, if we don't always improve and develop, we cannot sell. We cannot stay top of mind. So there's a lot of work that needs to happen. And to be top of mind, it's about understanding the new consumer needs, the shopper's needs, understand the retailer. So there's a lot of networking. The network in our region is very important, plays a big role, because you keep on understanding what is happening around you through friends, through your network, as well as the learnings that is taking place. And it's a lifetime learning. It never stops. Then to stay ahead of the curve, never look into challenges, look into the opportunities that you have. We are in a region with very young population. We can grow at nowhere else in the world we can grow the same way we can grow in Middle East and Africa. So look at the opportunity. Is it challenging? Yes. If I go to Europe, it's an autopilot because we know the trend, we know the seasons, nothing is changing, but the population is aging. So you don't have opportunities. And here comes the mindset. We need agility here. So people should be agile. They need to be entrepreneurial spirit to look into opportunities rather than finding obstacles and challenge ourselves. Because the more we challenge ourselves, the more we can give and the more opportunities we find in the market.
That's great. That's great. Well, Milad, it's been absolutely great having you here today. I really appreciate your time and coming in and seeing us. I have one final question for you. How do you dare to lead?
First, thank you for having me. That was a great discussion. And it's nice to remember the old days and how I started. It's always important to reflect. So thank you for helping me do that today. How I dare to lead? I dare to lead by embracing the philosophy that has guided me through my whole career, which is what you want is what you can. And for me, this is not just a statement. It's a mindset that I work day and night having this mindset. And this mindset taught me that the only limits for achieving, over-delivering is the brain, that we set limitations. Otherwise, sky is the limit. So it's about making the impossible possible and leaving a legacy. I care a lot about legacy. So not only delivering today, but having a legacy for years to come.
Great, brilliant. Well, thank you very much again. And look forward to our listeners listening to this.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to today's episode with Milad Rouhana, where he shared insights from his diverse career, leadership philosophy, and strategies for building a high-performing team. Be sure to follow us on LinkedIn at Halian or visit www.halian.com to learn more. We can't wait to be back next month with more inspiring stories. See you soon.